It's gonna be
Good
so.
afternoon. Good evening.
Done it.
Let me close this door.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is True Power is Mine. This is TPIM SR Live. Today, we have a very special guest in the house. Sister Sandra is on the line. We're going to be talking about the return to Kemet, from a firsthand experience. There's a lot of opportunity. If we can get this thing together, Yao. And I had to pull back on trying to send money here and there, because of all the terrorist laws and all this crap I'm being learned to relatively quickly. But Sister Sandra, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Brother David, welcome to
Greetings,
the show.
everyone.
So could you just start off just a little bit, telling everybody about what you're doing, especially in reference to the mental health, because that's what I really want to talk about tonight, mental health.
Great. Mental health is the number one, I say, concern that everyone needs to be really talking about because it affects our children and our families.
Yes.
There is the terms, Dr. George DeGroote came up with the slave syndrome. What's her name? She's Indian. She came up with the history of histrionic generation. She also came is another one where we don't talk about that much. It's post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm sorry. I won't go list myself, but so.
And we all, is it safe
health,
to say, Sister Sandra, that we are all suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder because of kind of the hostile world in which we have to operate in?
Violence is the number one reason why we have mental disorder. Now, we have been in a violent society. This world is violent. When I went to the Gambia, I saw the effects of what neo-colonialism does. And I don't, that's not being talked about because, and it's not anything that's wrong with our people going over to Africa on tours, but they're missing a lot of the necessity of what you can begin to start thinking about what you can do. Over here, the symptomatic of mental health is drugs, alcohol, and people are using these and opiates and heroin, and they're using these things to hide their the symptoms of their psychological disorders. We have a lot of people over here are undiagnosed because for many, many years, and it still is that way, our people will not go to therapy. So they talk to their friends.
Well, is that because when we look at the history of the medical, and let's say industry and melanated people, it hasn't been a very friendly relationship. And also, Brother Fred King in the chat room has a great comment. Yeah. Gambia is the smallest pesto paradise. Is that a concern when we look at going back to Africa?
As to the concern of the size of the country?
No, the size of the pedophilia, the prevalence of people quite literally giving up their bodies just to get resources due to the oppression of colonization.
I think that Gambia is a target because they open the door for the Portuguese to have a place in the Gambia. And so whenever you open the door you open the door for pedophilia. Because, see, as it was said to me, how can we not dislike white people? Because they have been good to us. And I said, you all don't understand what it is to have a frenemy. So you can befriend someone and want their assistance, but you don't let them come all the way in to destroy your people. Because now they're talking about vaccinations, and these are things that they don't need any of those things. They don't have any epidemics of any of that. It is only until you have the interaction with Europeans that you have to be concerned about that.
About the disease.
And we know that to be true because that is part of the history of America. Because why did they say that the natives were killed off? Because they had smallpox and they contracted diseases from the Europeans.
That is true. I mean, that's actually documentable. We have case history on that. But then we roll into the situation now where we have to recognize, okay, well, what type of world are we living in? Are we living in a world where you can truly remain isolated, where you can remain insulated? Or are we living in a world where a motherfucker can go wherever the hell they want to go? So we just going to have to deal with it, because the problem with...
We have to protect our children.
Yes, I agree.
And we have to protect our children. And everyone should be on board with protecting children. And our children does not know what it is like to feel protected. And the reason why they don't know what it's like to feel protected is because many of their parents, we have generations of people who have been exposed to crack. We have, like it's probably like 5 generations.
Yes.
That children have been born with addicted to opiates. And we don't say anything about all of these things. Our children need to be protected. We are in a state and a place in life where there's a whole generation of people in history, and I'm talking about Black society, where we're going to be looked at as useless. Because all that has been going on is that we just been talking. We haven't been doing anything. We've just been talking. And did we need to talk? Perhaps so. We probably needed to talk. But at the same time, while we were talking, we should have been creating businesses and stuff. We shouldn't have been listening to people to tell us, oh, we're supposed to get excited when there's one Black person that's making money in the movies. There's one Black person on the show interviewing people, and they're making millions and millions of dollars. And are we supposed to be happy about that while we sit back and watch television? See, we got hooked into a whole system of stuff that now we're like, okay, we got to wake up out of this. But we got caught.
Yes.
In a trap.
We did. We did.
Yeah.
You know, not to wreck your stride, sister. But apparently, you're extremely popular. Would it be okay for me to open up the phone line? So we already got a couple of users wanting to call in to talk to you. And you guys, all I ask is that you be respectful. You know what I'm saying? Because, this sister is sharing valuable information and her valuable time with us. So I'm going to open up the chat, or not the chat lines, but the phone lines. If you want to call in, talk to Sister Sandra, ask her questions. It's 636-209-5044. That's 636-209-5044. And now we'll go back to the show in progress. Now, sister, when we talk about the mental health aspect of this situation, how come we're so reluctant to talk? I mean, we'll tell our kids about all the gods and laws, but we won't share like, hey, kids, sometimes people are mentally off, and this is how you have to deal with them. How come we don't have those serious talks?
Well, one thing is shameful.
Mm.
See, because we've been taught to be shameful. You know, when most of us have grown up in Christian or Islam or whatever, these religions that teaches you to be shameful. They tell you that pride is wrong. You're supposed to be humble and turn the other cheek.
Mm. Especially the butt cheeks.
Islam,
they're all about that.
Mm-hmm. And Islam teaches traditional values where, in the Gambia, some people that practice Islam, they still believe that they shouldn't educate their women.
Mm. Well, I mean, you know, they have a compliant female.
That's 85% or 95% of that population over there practice Islam. Sufi is the Islamic name of it. You know, we've heard over here Sunni, I can't think of the other one. And so over there they practice Sufi. Now, which means that they will take it up a notch to complete violence.
To complete violence.
Yeah, and because that's what they learn. Now, one of the things I want everybody to be very clear about is that as we have been in this violent society in the United States, and now, we have a wonderful opportunity to understand what has been happening across this globe with a lot of different people, particularly when it comes to our connection to Africa. All people on this planet that has melanin in their skin came from Africa. If you look at the old maps, you could see that the land mass was together and they walked over, boated over, or whatever they did to come to the land. It's just like, we are the indigenous people who were over here.
Right.
Now, meaning that our ancestry lineage was here. Now, we're getting the DNA that says that we're related to people in Nigeria. Ancestry.com is connecting people. And people are calling each other and saying, oh, you're my cousin and all of this. Okay. Hey, we all are going to find out that we all are connected.
Right.
We're all going to find out that we got European in our blood, too. Oh, I know. I know I got European in my blood.
Mm. And there's nothing, I mean, it's human beings. Fuck it. I'll be the one to fucking say it. Fuck it. Human being is human being. Mm-hmm. But there's a difference between having European blood in you, but having a hatred towards people who are melanated. Like, quite literally having a hatred. Like, I'm going to ensure that Sister Sandra fucks up. When I know that she needs to be on class, I'm going to make sure I lock the door to the building so she can't even come in to sit down to class. That type of jerk move is what's setting shit back. This attack on blackness. Driving down the damn street. Yeah. Boop, boop. Hey, oh my God, I'm scared. Pop, 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 pop. Sitting there eating a bowl of ice cream, just chilling. Hey, I'm going to watch me some whatever on TV. Someone kicks open your door, shoots you up. Oh, I thought I was in my crib. Come on. This type of nonsense is what has to stop. Now, those are like straight North American fears and attitudes on everyday situation. When you was back in Kemet, did you feel any of that when you was walking down the streets going to market?
I'm safe. I'm safe.
That's what you felt.
Everybody is safe. Everybody is safe. Now you're going to hear that now. I'm sure in other countries it may not be as safe. But in Gambia, you're safe. Mm-hmm.
See, that's
very safe. Women can walk around with their pocketbook. Nobody will bother you.
But now, what about
you'll have people coming up to you asking you for money or trying to sell you something or whatnot. But look, I saw at the gas station the owner of the gas station had a whole wad of Dallases. Dallas is the dollar system over there.
Gotcha.
And I mean, when I say it looked like about 40 to 50,000 of our dollars, and he was just holding them at night, and he was talking and putting in gas. And I said, look, I'm gonna tell you, if that was someone in America holding that kind of money,
it's
they
over.
would have knocked them out of there, knocked them down, and stole that money. Ain't nobody even thinking about it.
See, that's what I find so incredible. It like when you talk about these sums of money for gas, $40,000, that's like the money's almost monopoly money. Then it's not supposed to be $200 for a candy bar.
Oh well, let me tell you, the gas is sold by the liter. So what is gas? Gas is about $2.40 I guess. I'm just guessing. And so they're paying $2.40 a liter.
Damn.
Yes. That is 4 liters make a gallon.
Hold on, we're making a phone call to Brother David. I believe he has he should have a question for you. Because
all right.
Hey, Brother David, welcome to the show.
Senor Patrick, how are you?
Hi, David. How are you?
Hey, Sandra, what's happening?
No, all is well. I'm looking at your question. So I'm going to tell you my experience. So
I'm sorry.
They tell you when you go to the website that certain countries you're supposed to have shots. Okay. Well, so the yellow fever shot is the shot that you're supposed to get. Okay, so I'm calling because, I'm thinking, I said, okay, if I have to get a vaccination, because I haven't had vaccinations since I was a young woman and I stopped working at the hospital. So I went through all the series of all the shots that you ever supposed to have, all the hepatitis and everything, because it's mandatory. So, so I'm calling around, and I called and I spoke with a nurse, and she said, I'm just going to go ahead on and tell you that there's a shortage of the yellow fever shot. And so you shouldn't even have to worry about it. So by the time I spoke to her, I called all these places. The company that makes the yellow fever shot decided they pulled all the original yellow fever shots off the shelf, and they created another strand of yellow fever shots. That shot is $250 along with a consultant fee of $50. They have placed them at certain locations up and down the East Coast, because I'm on the East Coast. So I called all up and down the East Coast just to see if it was going to be cheaper. No. I did not get a yellow fever shot. There's a gentleman, Lance Gerv, who went to Ghana last year. And he was, at the last minute, he went through the series and got the shot. Well, he got the yellow fever and he got Lyme disease. There is a medicine that they can give, that they now give to the military for mosquitoes. So, no, I did not.
No, ma'am.
No, I did not.
I'm sorry. Let me cut you off on. No, ma'am. No medication per the military.
No, they have the medicine over there that they give out to if they get bit by mosquitoes. Because the mosquitoes are so very small. We have big mosquitoes over here. The mosquitoes are so small, I couldn't even see them. I could feel them because I'll tell you, the lights went out for several days, and it was kind of rough because without the light, there's no internet. You can't contact anyone. So the mosquitoes without light, the mosquitoes can get into your home. So everybody's outside. You know, you can't be in the house without a fan, ceiling fans. It's just impossible because they make their homes out of gravel. So, you know how they used to make the houses with cinder blocks?
Yeah.
So they're making them with gravel. You know.
And concrete?
Where
like
you
just make your little gravel brick and lay it? Okay,
right.
I mean, that makes sense.
Well, so yeah, that's how they make them. So it was I didn't have any of that. I ordered me some Grandpa Secret, and they have a whole series of natural herbs. I ordered that, and I took those for 2 months before I even went over there to build up my immune system, just in case. Because you see, you know, by not going somewhere, you know, everybody should do it anytime they decide.
I'm sorry, but yes, ma'am, I'm going.
Oh, yes, and you must go. It is because I live with amongst the people. When I first got to the Gambia, I was shocked because the hotel is under construction. And, I mean, not the hotel,
not
sorry.
The hotel Holiday Inn. Say what? Keep talking, Sandra.
They don't have that over there. Not there. But they do have a Sheraton.
So what is
their
the
hotel?
What was the roads like? You know, like just the actual, like just as you was walking from the airport, you know, to the hotel. What was that? What was that journey like?
Okay,
well,
Pat,
when you Sandra, may I just cut off for a moment?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to say bring it back to the United States, you know, as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
There's that Zantac and that's ranitidine or something like that.
Yes.
Please get in touch with any of your people that has fucked with that, you know, excuse the French, because there is the lawsuit and that has fucked people up. And, you know, Zantac was on the shelf. And I'm sorry for going, you know, but it was a tie-in because when, you know, we want to go to the motherland,
right?
Not Mother Russia with that other shit. You know what I'm talking about, man? They want to shoot you with this and shoot you with that. And you know, with the veterans, all the shit they shot us with, and then they go with 1973, and then with the other veterans, you know, the Marines with the drinking of the water.
Yes.
Old school. Well, where my man Insano at? DJ Cut Tacker, keep dropping them beats. Pat, that grunge type stuff, you know, like that's like a scare tactic. Nobody's scared of that shit. And you know, the Moors got the law. I self-law am master. Impropria persona, sui juris. I've been waiting for Jersey Joe. I've been following him on Valerie, Denise Jones, and all them.
Excellent
and he's
program
been running from me.
Excellent program over there. You know, there was another program that was
mentioned. It is.
Brother Lance Curb. You know, he's actually been on this show before. And I remember following him when he was over there on the ground in Ghana. You know, giving the people a real-time sense of what's going on. Not this old bullshit geographic. We're coming through the poor side of town.
Let me ask you this, Pat. No bullshit. What about dual citizenship with Ethiopia? They have the oldest Bible there. They said that the Ark of the Covenant, you know, the covenant there from a long time ago. Is that a myth?
I guess to quote Obi-Wan from a certain point of view, you know, it's all about a certain point of view. Because what they're offering, the Orthodoxy is not trying to hear that. When are you going to see an Ethiopian Jew running Israel? When are you going to see an Ethiopian Pope in Rome? All right. So if we want to talk about the real sincerity of that whole religion,
don't do that, Pat. That's a WS move. That's a WS move. And you know, we're talking about Ashkenazi.
Yes.
Don't do it.
I'm not.
Third Temple means World War III. So I don't want to digress. So stop it, Pat.
Brother David.
We're talking about us having, the communications with our folks in the motherland, in Al Marat, the North Gate.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the flag of Sardinia? That will teach you everything else. Where the crest, where any pyramid is Doug de Maunia, Washita Moors with the UUs, MUUs-RS, MOORS. It's all the same. Empress Verdiasi and Noble Drew Ali. They are the two that will teach you where you're at with the North Gate. The Louisiana Purchase is not real. Are you still with me there?
All of the things that they have done as far as violation,
I'm done.
They have violated every single treaty that has been on existence. So and that's the reason why being in a violent world, because Europeans have decided to cause war on the melanated people, that we have been programmed all over the world. Everybody thinks the same way. They're just in a different location.
That's so true.
When it comes to Black society. Now, it is beautiful. We over here, when we get to Africa, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. We see all these beautiful Black faces. Everybody is Black everywhere. So of course, we love that. Now, when you talk about, they have main roads to get to the airport, to the city of Banjul, and when you want to go out to Toga or Ture, where the fish markets are, where they bring in the fish from off the boat. When you get into where the people live, the streets are sandy. It's red sand.
Red?
Yes, red sand is everywhere. And so that means that there are unpaved roads. So, and they don't have mail delivery unless you are on a main road. So they still are operating in an archaic way. So the main road, so they still have to draw how you get to where they live. They have to draw it out in a map.
Let me deal with you on this one. And I believe Big Pat had received my link, and I think it was like a coppermind.com type deal, where you do the free rural delivery, which is more or less like the same. And if you feel me, you will know it's like the same, because we should get the green national ID cards instead of the blue ID cards, the passport cards or passport books, I should say, because it should say without prejudice UCC 1-308.
UCC-1.
And trust me, Sister Sandra, it all ties in.
UCC 1
because it's 308, the North Gate.
So the Gambia, as well as all the other countries, they may have the modern city, and it could be 200 kilometers, except for where in Gambia, they do have running water to many of the homes that I went to.
Yes, ma'am.
It is a luxury to have a refrigerator. It is a luxury to have a stove that runs by gas. It is a luxury to have hot running water.
Damn. And
so, because, we over here, we don't think anything of it. If we move to Africa, we're going to have all these items in our home. because they still cook by firewood or coal, and they use this petroleum paint, and they cook on top of that.
Okay, well, and so, let me cut you off, and I'm still building with you. We got these smart meters and all this other type of shit, and then with the EMP pulse and everything. Go ahead, Pat, with the dormant trees and chopping the things down and all that, because I'm with you.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to be doing some more nature stuff. But
it all ties in together.
Mm-hmm.
It all ties
the whole
in
bottom
together.
line with
and then once we get this law here, we push them out there. Just say maybe back to the Caucasus Mountains. I don't know how it works, but I do know the science of it all. But, that's another story.
Right before
I didn't say that word. Just call them Ashkenazis. Just call it that. That's the truth.
They had a meeting that for the first time, they had an African conference in Russia. Putin had invited all the African presidents to go to Russia. Yes.
And then when Hillary said no with Gaddafi, and then there's no BRICS.
So they all went over there and discussed how they were going to have a relationship with Russia.
Well, you know why, don't you? I mean, it's almost pretty obvious at this point. There is the external force. I mean, whenever we have shit bearing down on us, we can no longer be like, you're just a woman, you're just a black man, you're just this, you're just that. No.
Space fleet. The triple stages of darkness. I'm the ruler.
So when some of the presidents are speaking, because we've been sheltered by the knowledge, many of the presidents that you might were trained, educated, and sent to UK. And that's why they are presidents of their country.
Mm-hmm.
See, the people still think that, they don't know that a game all over the world is being played.
If they do,
they take everything. Yeah, they know. They take everything as being real.
Right.
The Matrix.
But they don't know that the game is being played all over the world. So when they see the news, we know the difference. We know what fake news is and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
But Sister Sandra, I have to cut you off on that one because they really do know. They do know. It's just that we don't know. But now that we know, we're going to link back and everything is going to be back to the greatness that it is. Say, for instance, let me give you a little math, scientific numbers. 6,000 years ago, per their professors, whoever they may be, which are really our professors, if there's an AD and there's a BCE that's very much longer than the AD, where is the confusion? I'm not confused anymore, but some people are very lost.
Yes.
Yes, some people are very lost. And what keeps many of them in the state and condition, because now I want you all to understand clearly, we in America, Black society, is the most educated people on the planet.
And dominant.
We know a lot. We have not realized our full potential. And as a result of that, we see our brothers and sisters in Africa lost. They are in the state and condition that they're in because of colonization.
Right.
The Gambia is just 3 years out. Their president that they had prior to was Yahya Jammeh. Barack Obama and Michelle went over there and saw him in 2015. And in the 1997 or so, they had a coup over there. And what they were doing when they had a coup against the government, what they did was they wanted to kill off, the way it looked to me, because what they had on television is the TRC, which is the Truth Reconciliation Commission. And they followed suit with what South Africa did with the Truth Reconciliation Commission when they were dealing with the to help them get along with the Europeans. And still to this day, I cannot understand why those people have not built homes on the land where the white people are. And why the large percentage of them are still living in the shanty towns.
I cannot believe how all of these sanctuary cities are building all of these, you say 4-story, 5-story apartment buildings. They say it's senior living, but they're doing it so fast. And I guess the seniors are not living so long. So, you know, I'm kind of confused on that little tip. But
here in America, when they
gentrification,
when they're building those places, you know, they leave debris, they leave all kinds of stuff underneath those buildings. Those things are not cleaned out. And so when people move into a place, you know, they're thinking that just because it's brand new, that somebody really cared about whether they were going to, whether they cleaned up their trash. No,
right.
Most of the time they have thrown that under the home or whatever it is they build and brick right on top of it, and nobody ever knows that you're getting sick.
Right.
Sounds, Sister Sandra, if I may cut you off, sounds like what Erdiasi was saying. They dug the Maunya. Wherever there's a pyramid, we built that shit. Return of the Ancient Ones on PDF, 1993. It is all ours. An Eskimo is even, as they call, brown black.
Right.
The ISIS papers will teach the way. Real talk, Dr. Ben, the ancestors, we've been telling us, you know, not like I'm that man, just my little knowledge of, let's get it. And the only way to get it is to take it to them per their law, per the language that is English that we know.
Mm.
Because they say, how's this Latin shit? What is an impropria persona, sui juris? And then you hit it with a little English, say all rights reserved. Wow. I'd rather fuck with that guy who just taught me that and then taught it back with the 666 triple melanin. 666 is 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. Those 3, you know, the big 3 books, they're all bullshit. Throw it out, because under law, they don't give a damn about it, because the resources are whose? By what laws? Not the 3, not the big 3.
Now,
Pat, after that, I'm so sorry, Sister Sandra. Keep talking. Keep
that's right on,
dropping the knowledge, man. I got to go. Bye, Nagas. Man.
Right on.
So now, when Yahya Jammeh was the president, he had said that all the white people got to go. They can't be there. So he's no longer the president anymore. And my understanding is that the last election, he got angry, so they exiled him from the Gambia. And he is in another country. I can't remember which one he's in. So the president
is he safe? Is he still alive? The old president, he just lost election. He didn't sometimes if you just talk some stuff like that, they'll do you in over there.
He was the president for 22 years.
Wow.
Yes. And had he won the last election, he would have been considered like a kingship. He probably would have been the president for the rest of their life.
And how many people was he governing?
I was told there's about 3 million people in the Gambia.
And they're essentially one tribe, or are they composite of several different
I'm
tribes?
sorry. No, they consist of Fula, Madinka, those are the 2 primary tribes.
And then there's just a little bit of everybody else kind of mixed, sprinkled here and there.
Yeah, well, the Portuguese was there, so they interbreeded.
With
so
them.
You see all shades. Yeah, you see all shades of people, from black as black to the lightest white. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so,
yeah,
how much of the country is do you think has been affected, like in an extremely negative way, through the practices of colonization? What I mean is the people who were once there on the land prior to the Portuguese or whoever rolling up, since they have come in contact. I mean, they'll make what happened to the native so-called Americans in the Indian reservations look like the Taj Mahal compared to the deal that they got. Did you see any of that action over there?
It is. You can see the disparity. Because you see, since I've been over there, they are deprived because of depravity. Depravity is when someone imposes their wickedness and all this other hatred and hostility towards you, which causes you to be deprived. Because anytime your roads are sand, everywhere the people live, the roads are sand.
Well, then break it down, sister. Now you just set forth a pretty, bleak deal. So you're a young man, young woman, some rich chick comes through or some rich fella come through. How easy do you think it will be for them to woo you over?
Well, yeah, when you are about that prostitution, in Sina Gambia is where the hotels are, the main roads that lead there to Sina Gambia, and it is there are roads everywhere you're going in Sina Gambia. And it's a small area where they have food, they have liquor. The Gambia, everywhere you can't drink. So
because it's a Muslim country?
The primary. Maybe that has something to do with it.
But now they still use alcohol for say you cut yourself, you still can use alcohol, for disinfecting purposes. Or is there just no alcohol anywhere of any form?
Yeah, you can buy it at the grocery store or whatever you want. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
yeah,
the thing about it is when we, like you and David were mentioning, when we bring in the big 3 religion, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, and what that represented, and I'm not using the word, I want to speak specifically about Kevinite. When you look how it breaks down the populations, in some cases a tribe, depending on the relationship of the tribe, you intermingle that with the economic realities. Now, this is no speculation what I'm about ready to say next. This is actual documented economic realities, such as 14 countries are still paying back the nation of France for reparations. Now, see how France is getting reparations as a colonizer? The guy that comes in and rapes the chicks, the guy that sends their fucking criminals to this region to run it and to abuse the boys with their little missionaries positions. This is the reality that we have to face. This is the situation that is placed upon us. Oh, it looks like we have another caller.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Religion. While I was there,
Pat, my man.
Hey, brother David, you're on the line. I thought you. Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Wait. Now, Pat, you just said something about the three big religions and all, right?
I might have mentioned
Pat,
them.
let me tell you something. Now, first I'm going to start with the voting and all, and then I'm going to go back to these three big religions. Now, your vote don't mean anything because of the Electoral College. All of your Social Security has been going to the Queen of England, and then everything else with your religions, your 501c3, religious cults, corporations, whatever they want to call it, it goes to the Pope. So the big white people that's your father and your mother is the Queen of England and the Pope of the Vatican. And we all know how they get down, knowing that they're not nobility, not over nothing. So stop the religion, kill the rest, go with the law, because cosmic law always rules. Why does the sun love me? And then if there's someone just like me that has my same height, weight, hair color, all that type of shit, all we have to do is sit in the sun and it's 74 degrees out. Wind is beautiful. Everything is just lovely. And no disrespect, but all the eats we can eat. All the fucks we can fuck. And it's lovely in paradise. Why does one melt and one does not? Got to be a chosen person or people around there, and it's just scientific. Now, Pat and I'm sorry. Sister Sandra, question for you. How close is Gambia to Senegal?
It's right across the water. You get.
What about that ACON? I'm sorry, Sister Sandra, for cutting you off. Because the water, when you say the water, it got to be near the Nile.
The Gambia,
what about that ACON dude in this brand new city right across the street?
I guess you're asking, did she get a chance to see
it? And don't get me wrong, because we know we can fit the United States and, the U.S. of A. and Alaska in Africa, the continent, 5 times or 5.5, 6 times. But ACON doing some stuff around there, and
there is in certain countries they are saying that they agreed to the Russians being able to bring their army there because AFRICOM is there.
Niggas?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Okay, now
and so that was the whole point. That was the whole point.
I'm just a Buffalo, New York Moor trying to get some people around me with their sleep ass to try to link up. And I can't even find them on my little bullshit Facebook page. But we're going to get them. Sister Sandra, Big Pat, thank you for your show. Sister Sandra, your talk. I mean, your speech. I don't even sound right. See, this English language is just fucked up, even the way I'm speaking it. But you know where I come from.
Yes,
goodness of the heart of the melanin. DeSoto, I'm going to talk to you one of these days on your line, offline, and I'm going to show you how we're really, really linked from the words that I speak out of my mouth, and then from our even family members, perhaps. Sister Sandra, talk to them. We need to get back to the motherland, and you know how we can do it. Did you have a passport card or a passport book? And then other than that, Sister Sandra, talk and, spit that. I'm out, Nagas. And nobles as in the men, empress as in the women. Now, Pat, I know you're going through your shit, but I'm telling you, man, I got your back on that. It's too easy to overcome that. Drop that bullshit Bible to start, pimp. Year of the Creator or the Most High, if you don't mind, as I speak, sir.
Well,
night, Nagas. I'm just listening now.
All right. Peace and power.
Hotel.
All right, cool.
All right.
Okay, there are 54 countries in Africa. Africa is huge. It is imaginable for us.
Yes.
Okay. And so there, you have to do your research no matter where you decide that you want to go. I see that Fred put that for some African government employees under French rule, they have to be sodomized per ritual in order to be employed. And he is true. That is true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, this is what I'm talking. This is the stuff that no one's talking about. You know, everyone wants to talk about the cupcake dream.
And they're trying to keep it a secret. Now, that may not be, have not got around to the Gambia yet, because I think that is happening in Cameroon, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pulling up. I'm trying to pull up a little map so people can actually see the countries and the continent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go.
So when all the countries have pretty much, they have their own army. However, they get their training from the UK
or Paris. So, you know, like those French. It seems like whatever country was their parent colonizers, whether it was the Dutch or the Germans, you know, or like you say, the UK and the French, definitely huge towards the later part of this colonization experience. Now we're going to see the fallback from that, because there's a lot of bent up anger, and it's being represented by people. I mean, do we not see what's going on both sides of the planet? Both are, forget the man-made continental names, these two huge land masses. All right, everyone from the south is moving to the north on the planet.
Yeah.
So they're all hardening us all up north. So when the nuclear bomb does start attacking and everything start going to hell, all the radiation theoretically will stay up north while they are down. Like the rich people are all going to New Zealand, Tasmania, Australia. That's in the southern hemisphere. Some I even heard are even going to as far as to Antarctica itself. Okay. Once again, guys, all I'm saying is that we have gotten so far out of whack as far as society.
Well, while I was there, I mean, I had a breakdown because I was in Gambia at one of the clubs, and they have live band there every single night. And so no one told me that prostitution was going on there. So what you see is the old white women with the young African men.
Yeah.
And you see the old white men with the young African women.
Right.
And what is happening in the Gambia is they are marrying. I can't even say it.
I know, marrying. Be wedding, be trophy.
Because it's terrible. It's terrible. And thinking so that they would be able to leave Gambia so that they can have a life of making money.
Right.
Because the depravity, they're being deprived because poverty is a construct of the mind. That they're being deprived is hindering the young people from being able to make money. Even the people who work for in civil service, they don't make a lot of money. They only make, the president, he makes $3,000 a month.
Damn.
So and that's considered quite a handsome salary over there when you put that in Dallas's money. But I know some people who only make like $150 a month.
And then they had to try to convert that into the other money.
Right.
Oh,
but
God.
still, that's 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, about 8,000 dialysis a month. And out of that money, you have to buy a bag of rice for your family for the month. Now, because the refrigerator is a luxury, people are going to the market every day to buy food to prepare for the day.
Now, is it refrigerators that is the luxury, or is it electricity in general that is the luxury?
No, you can get electricity. You can get a meter.
Okay.
And you can pay by usage.
Yeah, just like here, just like the United States, you pay your little bill or whatever as you use. But
no, you have to pay before.
How can you calculate that? How can you calculate what I'm going to use before I actually use it?
Well, they don't. That's not how it works.
Wow.
If it run out, then you got to go get some more.
So it's like your damn house is like a prepaid phone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
the meter. It's a meter box. It calculates how much usage you using.
Okay. Well, what about if so? Do they have like I don't know, you might not be aware of it, but like the building code laws. So if I went over there, built my own home, I could just basically install my own solar panels and not even hook it up to their electrical situation.
Yeah, you can get you can get solar panels over there. Solar panels is very expensive. To have a water heater, I heard, will bring your electricity will be very high.
Well, yeah. But to live without hot water, your unpleasantness will be very high as well. See, this is
right. Well, so for me, I can't be without hot water.
Well,
taking a bath, taking a shower. Oh, most of them have only, hold up, a shower. They have toilets. I don't want anybody because people have been brainwashed to think that they're archaic and you still have to have outhouses and all of that kind of stuff. Well, look, outhouses just ceased to exist in most of our family lineage in the 60s.
Right. There's still outhouses out here in the United States.
Yeah.
So
our people, are not paying attention to certain places because we've been living in the city.
Right. Well, I mean, in all fairness,
or around the city.
Because I like to be real. No one's trying to go back in technology. I mean, there are some people I'm sure that would trade off the sense of belonging, the sense of true freedom, the sense of not standing out in the crowd, the sense of actually belonging to the community. They might trade off some comforts like a hot water heater or a washing machine or a refrigerator or indoor cooking and things of that nature. But on par, most people ain't trying to hear that. Most people will be thinking that we are Looney Tunes to even suggest somehow going to a situation like that. And my whole point is this. It's not about personal comfort, because here in a minute, with Agenda 21, UN Agenda 21, UN confiscate, they're going to take your guns and shit for a reason, because what she's talking about, the electricity game, that game is coming to a city near you too. Talk to the people in California about the electric game. See if I'm lying. So that's the reality. And then we're also going to have to deal with the water shortage that's coming up. Now, that's one thing I wanted to ask you about. And you might not know the answer to the infrastructure aspect, but how was it the people getting their water where you was kicking it at over there? How were they getting their water?
Oh, they have a water system. Okay, they have a water plant.
Okay. And now would that be?
Yeah, so they have. And they still dig boreholes for water in the ground,
or artesian wells where they'll just put a pump in that and shoot that up there to the house.
Right.
Now, did you had an opportunity to be in the city and out in the country, right? Like, I guess the suburbs. Was there a huge difference? I mean, did you really see the lines of development? You know what I mean? Like, if you go, how was that?
Yeah, because the further out you go, now in the city, of course, you can see chickens, lamb, little baby rams running around, roosters. You see all of that running around, even within the city. You can see anywhere you go. Gotcha. When you go further out, then you start seeing cows, you start seeing donkeys. Oh, in the city, when you're traveling, it is the cars, the buses, the trucks, the donkeys, the wheelbarrows, the bicycles.
What?
Are all on the main road.
And everybody's just kind of. What about street lights? A lot of street lights, or?
Yeah, there are street lights in the city, and certain when you go further out, certain parts there's no street lights.
Well, yeah, we get that here too.
Right. Right. And so they're like in Jumbo Jelly, which is close to the fish, to Torrey, where they have the fish, where they bring in the fish, and they still bring in the fish the old way on the big canoe boat with the bright colors, and you know, people are going there to get that fish so they can sell it to the people in the city.
Right, that's right.
And because that's pretty much what I eat. You know, I tasted the chicken. The chicken is a whole lot. It's like if you could remember how it tasted when you were a child. The vegetables, of course, is good. Bananas is on the trees. Mangoes. It's all wonderful.
Now, what about wildlife?
They are so smart.
I mean, wildlife, like no farming.
Oh, you have to go. Yeah, you have to go to the museum where they hold that. They have a park. Well, they call it a park, but that's where they have the alligators and the tigers and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay, so it's like just a regular zoo, or like a regular zoo.
Right.
So, did you ever get a sense?
And further down Gambia, down the river Gambia, the monkeys live out that way. The chimpanzees.
And you can see them from like a floating tour or something like that, maybe.
You got to take your own boat if you want to see that. Yeah, because they haven't fixed that. Matter of fact, I even heard that the United States is supposed to be helping them to do something with the Gambian River, because when they have the rainy season, it floods and they don't have proper drainage.
Wow. So the Army Corps, hopefully they do a better job than they did down in New Orleans. I shouldn't say that.
Well,
that was wrong.
It can get like that in the city. So I went after the rainy season.
Now, but was you there during like the heat of the summer, or was it more of a fall or springtime visit?
Oh no, it was hot.
Oh, was it?
Now, this is supposed to be like their winter. The late part of November, December is supposed to be like their winter, but it's still like 80 degrees. It might get a little cool in the evening, so people they may get cold during that time or get the flu or whatever.
Yeah, but for the most part, though, what you're saying, people are pretty healthy. You know, you don't see a lot of sick people hacking and coughing on the side of the road.
No, but there were young people. The person that I went to go see, their mother died, and she was only about in her 60s, but she had been sick. She had high blood pressure, and she passed out, and she got a brain trauma from it.
From passing out.
Yeah, and so she she just began to deteriorate. She became blind. She couldn't talk. You know, it was a sad situation. So she died while I was there. It was a few other people that died in their 50s, 60s. So I met a older woman there, and she worked for the UN, and before she retired, so the UN over there, and so many of them were able to leave. It's very difficult to leave.
Why is that? I mean, it's just hard to come up with a visa or passport to get, or actual transportation.
Maybe it is difficult for them to get the visa.
Gotcha.
Because you have to have a reason to come to the United States.
Yeah, a sponsor.
Yeah, you have to have a sponsor. Yeah. Or now, I mean, you can come for a visit.
Yeah. But that's not going to be no 3 months, you know, a 3 months visa. That, you know, I don't know how those actual paperwork work, but I think.
Well, they claim that they will, the United States on the website said they will give you a visa for up to 6 months.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's $160.
So that's 1 month's wage for some people.
Right. That's a whole month's wage. But as I told someone, I said, whatever it is that we want to do in America, you know, you save money. Yeah. And I realized that, you know, when you have been working on a consistent basis and there hasn't been a change in your income, you can put aside $10 a day. So what it looks like the young men are waiting for women to marry them so that they can get out of the Gambia.
Oh, but you're talking about rich women, rich foreign women, not local girls. You're talking about rich foreign women, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, are they? I mean, because most of them, they look like they worked.
Yeah, and now they're retired. They could be, but think about it. If this chick is retiring with a pension of like even $1,000 a month, dude, that would be equivalent to some young brother over here finding a chick making $10,000 a month. Yeah, it won't really matter what she looks like. It's gonna be a George Washington time. You're gonna go in there and get those resources and go on about your business. And they
don't care. And they don't care what she looks like either. Because I was just blown away.
Well,
as to, because the women are beautiful over there.
Yeah, but no one looks good
when you're African. Well,
no, that's what I'm saying. That's why they do that bullshit. Fuck the consequences. I want to go to the root. Why are they doing that? Oh, well, it's because they're not economically viable, perhaps in their own country, due to a system that was over their country for hundreds of years that keep on putting a puppet motherfucker after puppet motherfucker that's getting money for him and his crew. I'm sure his little family's looking good, but the rest of the people are basically on the verge of basically desolation. It's either you go down to that little club and hook up with that old ass UK retiree pensioner, or else your ass starves. Or goes without. Not saying you starve, but you just go without.
They are hustling every day. You see the women carrying their children on the back, selling fruit on top of their head, peanuts. You know, they are known for cashews. But their cashews are not sold in Africa. It's sold everywhere else. 60% of the cashews are sold everywhere else.
Planters group probably getting it because you know I love cashews. Cashews are delicious. I love them. You know, can't even have cashew chicken.
So they have the trees over there, honey. They can go in the woods and pick their peanuts and sell them for free. Toast them for you, boil them, whatever.
Dang.
So we wonder where we get boiled peanuts. They boil them over there too.
Man, see this.
We wonder where we get okra soup. Anybody ever had okra soup? They do okra soup over there too.
Oh, yeah. I was forced to eat okra. I just can't. I don't like it. I'm gonna be on the real. I don't like that slimy shit. Now I like fried okra. I love some fried okra. Fry that shit up like a fried green tomato. But that soup ain't for me. It's like for my PSTD, man. Oh shit. I remember eating that shit as a kid. No, ma'am.
Rice. There's a different grain of rice. So, I was getting excited. I said, oh, is the rice from Africa that we're eating? No, the rice comes from America.
What? The rice comes from
that they're eating. Yes.
Well, I'll be kind of worried about that one because of the fact that we could have a situation where you're eating GMO rice, genetically modified rice.
Yeah. Oh, yes, they could be putting radiation on that rice.
Oh, stop, sis. Stop. Now we're
I just want to keep it real.
I mean, think about it. You get this radiation GMO rice, and then you put some wood. You get some of that tuna from the fucking North Pacific up there by Japan. That's all fucking juiced up. Then you get some of those. Oh my god, man! It's like that movie Batman where you eat one product, you take one product, and you mix them all together, and you get the poison. That's how they're just wiping this out. Genetically modified.
They letting the Chinese over. So they let the Chinese have a shipping site.
So that's curious. The Chinese are working on the One Belt, One Road initiative, right? So if they can consolidate a direct line into Africa or into Kemet, they can pull out the damn resources, basically cutting, all of our shipping people, send that shit right to China, whip up something good, and send that back on the global market. And what's happening, that's the erosion of our seafaring capabilities. In other words, the United States is the United States only because of our maritime power, our power to say, well, you may live in France, but if you want that fucking engine to go down there to Australia, you got to kind of deal with us, or you're going to deal with the Dutch or even the British and a little bit of the Germans. But for the most part, it was the Greeks and the U.S. shipping industries that transported everything around the world. I was talking to a brother the other day. He was saying one of the ups on the construction aspect that the Chinese bring to the game, man, they bring in everything. They bring in their bulldozers. They bring in the concrete mixers. They bring in the concrete. They're bringing in all that. There ain't no Johnny come lately on that gig. That's all underneath the people with the original wall. You dig? You see what I'm saying? The original wall. So,
and they do not hire the Africans to assist them.
Nope. Haven't we seen that play before? Haven't we seen that play before? That's all I want to say. That's what I want to get. Because like I said, I was telling the sister off camera, I got a new web link. It's called StarVids. All right. I got an account at StarVids video hosting platform now. There's going to be videos I'm going to post over there that I cannot post over here. I mean, it's going to go into really depth. There's going to be a lot more. The stuff I do on YouTube, now that I know the criteria, I'm going. All right. But there's so much more I want to go above and beyond the little level I have to be at to be in there. And I had that freedom over there at Stars. So I will be doing some more stuff like that. But I'm going to let the sister have the last word because we're rolling up on like an hour and a half. And, I'm trying to keep these videos at a normal time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if this wasn't a live show, me and sister could have this conversation. I could chop it up and just, send it out once every, week and shit. But I don't like playing the game like that. I like being engaging with the audience. I like to engage with my guests And I think that's what really makes this a different platform. Because you want to get the Rudy Poot news, just go to fucking the big media. But if you want to get the truth, come here. If you want to get the truth, come here. All right. So, sister, you got anything to add about your adventure? I know we didn't hit all the top because there was so much more. I want to ask you about like the Brother Bay, welcome to the show. Peace and power. I want to ask you about like the ancient aspects. Did you get a chance to see any ancient temple? Stuff that you won't see on National Geographic bullshit, but stuff that shows us.
Well, down further in the Gambia, this is Kuta Kinte area.
Okay.
Kuta Kinte, where Alex Haley actually went to his family there. And I think it's like the 8th generation now that is alive there. So it's down, I forgot the area, but that area is they're supposed to reconstruct it because it's going underwater. But anyway, that area where they used to get the slaves, they would put them in this little box, the ones that were aggressive, and hold them there. And they were getting Africans 100 a day.
Damn.
So imagine that went on for 3 years. That's a lot of people. Now they would take them from that location of the Gambia and then transport them up to Ghana. That's where the dungeons are.
Is it true all the cannons are pointed not towards the sea but towards the camp itself?
I have not seen that. Even when I went down to Jamaica, see that portion of the Gambia. You couldn't see because it's underwater.
Oh.
So, but they built those forts so that anybody that was coming, they could see them before they actually came on land. So I don't think. I mean, I'm not really sure if they were. I'm not sure if they were pointed directly at the location, because that almost wouldn't make any sense.
Well, if they start to do some sort of revolt, you just blow them up with your cannon fire.
Well, why would they when they could just shoot them? And then, I mean, come on now, they was leaving people there and not feeding them. The highly aggressive ones.
Man, that's just some hard. I just that part of humanity's history. It's not a pleasant.
So what I want to make sure that I leave with everyone is that we are the most highly educated people on the planet. We must come together to assist the people who have been colonized. We've been enslaved. It's all the same. There is no difference in the mindset of individuals. It is the same. The same thinking, the same actions. They want to move forward as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Some of us over here are lazy. We've gotten lazy. We are adapting to an outside entity that has absolutely nothing to do with us. We're not paying enough attention to what it is that we need to do. We are the most highly educated people in the world.
But education.
And what are we going to do with that?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
What are we going to do with that? I mean, anybody who's ever wanted anything, you can go over to Africa. You can build you the kind of home your dream house. The land is cheap. The land is cheap. You can build. There are mansions over there that people have built anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. Many mansions.
And don't have to worry about some sniveling home association. You can't put that in your yard.
You're right. You don't have to be concerned with that. We have bought into, when you start looking at the home associations, these are cells that we have decided to live in, these so-called communities.
Right.
It's just like a cell. So, I mean, when you can go over there, and don't get me wrong, you know, we're talking about people, we're talking about groups of people. Some of them do not have the ability to even buy land where they live.
That's
And so you can be jealous of someone who comes to your country and all of a sudden they're able to buy land. Next thing you know, they got a house. You know, it's a compound.
Yeah.
So behind the compound, you can build your home as big as you want it. And we have to become global.
Yes, we do.
This is the opportunity that we have. We have not had an opportunity to even think about being global. This is the brilliance of the internet.
Yes, it is. That is so true. Without the internet.
And all we have to do is think more positive. And listen, as traumatized people, I know the difficulty it is in not having a great insight about life.
Right.
But we have to be able to become more positive. We have to begin to start thinking about our future for the children and what kind of world are we going to leave for them. We have to think about that.
I want to add, we need to act on that. We need that. It should be beyond conversation. It needs to be an actual strategic plan involved for that. Because what you're talking about there is the future, and that is what I think one thing we all should agree on, and we have the power to affect that now.
And we need to, whatever it is that you want to call yourself, Negro, Black, Colored, African American, Moor, Indian, Indigenous, ADOS, all of that don't mean anything in the whole scope of things, because we have to think about our future. We have been layered law upon law upon law upon law. And one of the things is that they tell us ignorance of the law. You're not supposed to be ignorant of the law. But how you going to know what the law even is? Because they will change it right before your eyes. They will arrest you and then change the law.
That's true. Ignorance is not a defense. It's almost a prerequisite, though, to be locked up. You have to be ignorant.
Yeah.
But it's not a defense. So let that be what you think of, people. Or continue, Seth. You finish up, whatever you got to say.
So I just want us to remove our shackles of ignorance and start analyzing. That's a law. The law of analogy. That's a law. So we have to be able to discern. We have to be able to think logically. Yes, we are emotional beings. That's true. But when it comes to how we operate in this world, our emotions have to be put to the side.
There it is.
Otherwise, we'll be just like animals.
Always reactive instead of proactive.
Yeah.
And that's what gets us in the shape that we're in. It's not a state secret that you have no friends. It's not a state secret that, on the contrary, you actually have people who actively seek to exploit you any way they can, not because they necessarily need to. It's just what they do. It's just what they do.
Yeah.
It's like a lion.
It's in their nature.
Yeah.
You know, years ago when I worked at the hospital, they used to go around and talk about HIV. And so when you watch the film, you see these white cells with these spikes on the outside of them eating up the healthy cells. Right. And that's how I look at Europeans. And we don't take the time to think about unhealthy cells within a healthy group of people that is being raped, pillaged all day, every day. And so we have to really think about what we're going to do for our generations. What are they going to say about us?
If they say anything at all. We might become that missing generation, like when you ask most people, hey, tell me about your people. Don't forget, everybody walking around today quite literally goes back to the original man and woman. I don't care how you want to add it up. They could be hurt along the way, but the basis of that being goes all the way back to that individual. Well, how come most people can't even go back, say, 3 generations? I have yet to meet a person. I mean, other than Dr. Randy Short. Now, Dr. Short's a different animal. He can actually, he's just on that academic scholarshiping level with the genealogy aspect. But the average person, like those 2 dudes that I talked to the other day up there at the restaurant, the average person like that maybe 3 generations tops. All right. Why is that? It almost makes you think, man, how, just how real is time.
Because the reason why we don't think about our lineage is because it's a substitution for Jesus Christ or Allah or whatever else you want to call it.
Well, don't forget, Krishna and Zeus and Seth and Satan.
So these things these are entities that are not real.
Now, you just said that all the religion pantheons of gods is pretend.
Yes. Okay. They were made up in substitution so that they could create their existence.
Well, then you can create a situation to where, look, Sister Sandra, I just talked to God and he told me that your home is basically my people's straight up homeland. So, me and my children, we're going to come up into your house. We're going to kick you and your people out. We're going to take over. We're going to assume your name. All right. And if you say anything bad about us, then you're basically, anti-Semitic, or whatever. And I mean, that's quite literally where we're at geopolitically. When you look at the maneuvers.
Well, Dr. Quayu, Dr. Africana, I can't remember her maiden name, but her last name is Dr. Quayu, the one that used to work for the African Union.
Okay.
She told the story about what happened to her father, and when they called the white people when they came on the shore, people without needs, and they came and burned them out of their home. And then told them that they were going to go and live in a different quadrant because they were going to take over where they live right there. No. And so European had asked the question, well, my family has land there, and so what do you think about, shouldn't we be concerned about them? She said, why would I be more concerned about you when you weren't concerned about my family? You understand?
I see what you're saying. I mean, this is...
And so we have gotten too far removed. That's the reason why we don't understand our lineage. See, we don't understand about epigenetics. There's 2 forms of that. There's the negative epigenetics that get passed down through the bloodline, and then there's the positive epigenetics. We got to be able to figure out how we're going to get to the positive. How we're going to save the children. How we're going to teach them how to be successful.
Well, it's kind of hard to be successful.
To be leaders. Yeah.
If we're not that indeeds ourselves. You know, I mean, I want to ask you another question, and this is coming off the tip of the brain, I guess. If we had an alien invasion, and obviously, you know, the systems of colonization would not be able to, you know, withstand the might of that happening, that type of event. Would you be rooting, as a person, would you root for the aliens, humanity, or your own faction?
Well, the aliens,
and let's say the aliens are actually black people. The aliens look black. They're nappy-headed black folks, though. Not straight hair. They're nappy-headed black men and women. That's who the aliens are. Would you root for the aliens, or would you root for humanity, or would you root for your own faction?
Well, because I believe in righteousness, I know that if there was any such thing as that, then their goal would be to get rid of the hatred on the planet. And so therefore I would have no worry about the fate of humanity. Because see, we're going into the golden age. We're getting ready to go to a peaceful time. But there's going to be a battle for us to get there. Are we going to be alive to see it? I do hope so.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we have a lot of work to do.
Yes.
We have a lot of work to do.
Yes.
And yes, Sister Janet put in there that Semitic literally means black people. And see, even that,
that's the
when
truth.
And whenever I think about that, I always remember that that interview that Diane Sawyer did with Minister Farrakhan when she said to him, "Are you anti-Semitic?" And see, at that time, there was a lack of understanding words, our language. And so all that, and for many, many years, we thought that anti-Semitic means that we were against them, when it don't even mean that at all.
It really means you're against
you. It means black.
Yeah.
You understand? So we have evolved slowly, even ourselves, because we didn't learn.
No. Ignorance is, once again, remember what we just said. We just identified. Ignorance is not a defense of the law, but it's a prerequisite to being a prisoner. That's how you should know that you're not where you need to be, because of the ignorance of this thing. We're imprisoned by our ignorance, and the only way of freedom is truth. That's the only way to. That's why the truth will set you free. That's the reason why. Oh, I'm so glad. Now, this is what I'm talking about right here. This was a historical
So what I would like is, and that's the reason why I said that, you know, this is a time that we should be thinking, we should be planning.
Yes,
we should be moving towards the future. Just because a child is birthed by another mother or another father doesn't mean that we can't embrace that child.
Correct.
We should stop saying negative things, because why? Because we are all descendants from enslavement.
That's ouch. That's so true on so many levels. That is so, just right there. We are all descendants of enslavement. Period. Drop the mic.
No matter what you call it. It can be neo-colonialism, colonialism, I don't care, enslavement, slavery, whatever you want to call it. We are all that. And that has been the violence of why we all have some form of a psychological trauma.
Right. I mean, because it's sort of like the guy that, I'm not going to celebrate New Year's, but, he ain't going to the bank. He ain't going to the stores. Everything's shut down. He might not personally want to participate in New Year's, but the reality is when the banks are closed, your doctor's office closed, everything else is closed, you are participating by default because no one's going to engage with you about what you're trying to do. And this is what we're going to have to get through our heads, especially when it comes to economic viability, because anything short of the Most High, Jesus Christ, Mickey Mouse, the Flying Spaghetti Monster, UFOs, something external with immense power. The people who had this thing set up got this thing on lock. I mean, this thing's on lockdown. If you get too smart, little peasant, you will be clipped. You will go out there and kick on that car.
Once we really understand that we birth Christ into the world whenever we have children, so we don't get that because we have birthed the light of the world. We have birthed the Messiah. But because of enslavement, we don't look at our children as being the Messiah, the great hope, the Christ, the crystalline. You understand?
Correct. The light.
Yes.
Light. And sort of like Jordan said, it's obvious. Without the sun, we all die. Without the light, there'll be eternal night. Eternal night is almost a metaphor for death, eternal sleep.
Yeah.
And that's what we've
been asleep long enough. We've been in darkness, even with the light.
Yes. Because the light in us was taken away when your choice of freedom of movement, freedom of engagement, freedom of who you're going to actually come in contact with. Because most of our problems come from being in contact with individuals that really don't want to be around us. So therefore,
that's right.
If you have contact, then you're going to have conflict. But if you don't have contact, you won't have conflict. It truly is that simple. But until we realize that.
The other thing that happens in the Gambia, and which I had to clarify for people, is the Norwegians is there. Norwegians mean Dutch.
Right.
So they have built some hospitals for them. They got this great big old school out there. They have participated with their education and all of that. Right. And they, but yet,
see, this is.
I told them, I said, but yet these are the same people who was over there in Australia that almost killed off a whole group of people, the Tasmanian people.
I thought they actually did annihilate that group. I thought they did clip.
Well, it's a few of them that is alive. They finally gave them their land.
Wow.
After they have quadrilunized and octolunized.
Basically try to screw them out of existence. Try to basically saturate their bloodline to such a degree that the amalgamated race will essentially be its own entity. Not too much of either one group, kind of its own thing, which is a form of true genetic annihilation. When a group sets out and their only mission is to take sons and daughters from a particular group just to basically become baby makers. It's sort of like that ant colony that would snatch up the ant eggs and bring them back to the colony, and they become the slaves. And they don't even realize that they're not really down. They're not really a part of the actual colony. It's like that's happening in a actual sense in the mammal world, in our world, in the geopolitical movements. Because once again, when we talk about anything from single welfare mothers to illegal immigrants to illicit drug runners to I guess even international crime, cartels, it all goes back to big government, big powers doing sneaky moves and empowering these people to be so violent? Because without a boogeyman, you don't have justification to take people's money to keep this military that will basically oppress the people it funds, or the people who's funding it will basically be the people who will be oppressed by it. That's the whole gag.
Mm-hmm.
As long as the military has the terrorists to look at, then they'll still look at us, like the citizenry, not just us on the show. I'm talking about everyone in the country. They'll still look at the citizen, but they're going to be focused on the external threat. But once that external threat's neutralized, buddy, that's when the citizen had better worry, because that's when that whole machine and apparatus has to go from external threat to internal threat. And it's so easy because this society is so broken up. The first group they're going to come for is the blacks. The second group they're going to come for is the browns. The third group they'll come for is the basically the Asian/Jews, the small hats. After they finish with that, then it's be straight up DNA test time for all their warriors. If you come up short or come up extra, then that's when you're going to be dealt with. And then the last of it is just going to be a bunch of people who claim to be genetically superior because they use basically trickery and deceit to destroy most of the flesh on earth. They're going to ultimately be unable to keep their bodies, meaning that the genetic basically non-diversity is going to be their ultimate downfall. That's the whole gag.
Well, the Chinese government is going to get their people over there in Africa. Okay, so the way this is sometimes we can't look at it clearly, is they want to create another species of people.
Oh, man. You got to go back to the original template.
Right, and they're going to take the country.
Wait, Jules, do you think that
they have to be...
I'm sorry, I just got to ask you this real quick. Do you think the Chinese are taking genetic material out of Africa to use it in their CRISPR machines to try to edit some sort of clone army?
Let me tell you, there was a tree somewhere in one of the countries. It's a very expensive tree.
Okay.
Chinese make their furniture out of the tree. So they weren't supposed to cut the tree down. There's a group of trees. And so they went looking for the tree. The Chinese had already put them on the cargo, getting ready to try to send them back to China for free. Each log is valued at $5,000.
Wow.
So they don't care about other groups of people. They don't care. They only care about themselves, and they all have bought into capitalism.
Right. Racial capitalism, because I'm sure they have a Chinese first policy. And you know what? This just ultimately reinforces that whole deal, sister, that as long as I'm taking care of mine, I can be just as douchey as I have to be because reasons. And the reasons are, they're going to get paid. Like I just said, the reason why the Chinese bring in such a different dynamics to the game, and you just validate that statement by saying, because they're about ready to put these logs on their own ships and roll the fuck out. See, they don't have to go through no middleman. They can go from point A to point B, C, D, E, F, G. It don't matter. That's what we have to have. Everyone always wants to look at us like we're the drug kingpins of the United. No, because of the fact that it's not our boats, it's not our planes, it's not our plantations that the cocoa or heroin poppy fields are being grown on. Yeah, we're the guy that when the CIA brings a ship in.
I want to try to leave everybody with is that when you are from a traumatized people, it is difficult to put history together.
Right.
Because many of us don't want to think that we've been lied to. So it is important that we began to put history together so that we won't repeat the same thing over and over.
Right.
Just like Fred said, we don't own any plane. We don't own any train.
Nope. But yet we're the poster boy for, the hardened drug narco terrorist guy. I mean, come on, that's what they call black identity extremists, but that's code word for a thug, which is code word for a fucking drug dealer, which is code word for a black guy. I mean, I hate to be so bold and so blatant, but that's basically what it is. And then by understanding that rhetoric, then you can pick through the headlines now. Now you can see, oh shit, this is why they always word things a certain way. Oh, this is why they always show a certain person in a certain light. They're never going to show you a Barry Seals. Who's Barry Seals? Research it. Find out who he is. They're never going to tell you about all these CIA programs purposefully use drugs on citizens unknowns to them, from LSD to meth to pot. I mean, come on, y'all. You know, once again, ignorance is a prerequisite of being a prisoner. You can't be a prisoner without being ignorant. So if you're tired of
and
the
have in this country, we have a lot of people that are strung out on this fentanyl, opiates, heroin.
Right.
We got a lot of young people.
There are a lot of people in pain. There are a lot of people in pain, sister. There's a lot of people who are getting the spiritual karma for their people doing some shady shit, and it comes right down the bloodline. May, they're sick. No, that's some karmatic shit hitting the fan. I hate to tell you.
Yeah.
And your ignorance will get you caught up in that.
Yep.
So we have to
we have to be as positive as we can. Change some stuff we can't change. It's genetic.
Correct.
But the stuff that we can look at, embrace, be careful who you bring into your life.
Oh yeah.
We can love from a distance.
Yes.
I love Black society. I've been talking about, I had to shed a tear today because there was a group of people from Central Texas that they had a women's day, a women's march, the white women. So it was a group of Black women who went there specifically to talk about adultification and domestic violence and how we as Black women have always have created things and they have taken it over and called it feminism. She named all our ancestry, lineage, young woman. And I had to shed a tear because, you see, I've been involved in domestic violence since I was about 28 years old. And so it is difficult to tell these Europeans how they have affected Black women, their men, and their children. And we've been inviolate all along. And so when you know that you've been talking about that and that has been a hurdle, and that young woman was up there and just laid it out for them. Now, are they going to care?
No.
It's history now.
But see, when you were saying that, in my mind, I was thinking of all the girls during the 70s, women, not girls, but actual women during the 70s and 50s and 60s, getting the shit smacked out of them because old boy was working at a good place, making plenty of money, and they know the alternative. They can kick gravel and end up, because, don't forget they didn't have welfare. They could kick gravel and just be ass out. And they just took those beatings. They just, not beatings like, the dudes hanging them up on the damn ramp. I'm just saying any of that mental, psychological, even physical bullshit that women had to endure. And I think a lot of men don't get that. We don't understand it. And we, for the most part, just don't give a shit because of the fact that it doesn't affect us. Just like the average white person don't give a shit about Black reparations because it doesn't affect us. But I'm going to put my fucking words where my basically morality is. I feel I'm a decent person. And I think the suffrage that women have endured is bullshit. I'm so sorry that you guys had to deal with all that bullshit. And I'm really angry that men are still fucking clowning the issue by saying they can put a fucking bow in their hair and basically get all the respect and dignity that a woman should get. That just shows you how twisted up this bullshit is.
Yeah. I created a website. It's called Hinton on Scent. SCENTS. And that platform is designed to talk about mental health. And I'm trying to figure out how I can talk about violence and bring women into a platform so that they can be able to talk about it.
Yes. We don't have no place to talk about this stuff. For real.
We don't have a place. And we can talk about it.
You can go try your jukey little preacher or whatnot, but chances are they'll probably just take the information and kind of blackmail you with it. You know, I mean, you can talk to some Catholic guy if you want, you know. But no, we don't really have a open place to where we can. Hold on. Here it is. The problem is, guys, people who do nasty deeds or evil things, just like the racist or the hater, they always have to do it in the dark. They cannot be exposed with their evilness. They cannot be exposed being the brutal bastard that they are. And if we don't talk about these issues, guess what? They'll never be exposed. They'll go to the grave and people be at their damn feet. Oh, he was such a great guy, or she was such an awesome person. And knowing that, no, really behind closed door, they're more like fucking Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali. Be whipping the ass out of motherfuckers that don't go according to their plan or what they think. So, I mean, I know that's a totally different topic, you know, now, because honestly, you know, that's one thing I really never dealt with on this particular show is the mental, the mental health of this whole issue. And the issue is basically economic non-viability and future genocidal plans by a group of people who are set upon violence. And almost at this point in time, you can realistically say there is a trend or a tempo to violence. About every 70 years, there has to be a major war. About every 72 years. And we're about at that 72-year point. People done forgot about World War II. They forgot about the horrors of smelling their dead neighbors and seeing blown up animals and other animals blowing up due to the sun shining on its bloated dead bodies. So we forget these things. And now, unfortunately, we're going to. Okay, the bottom line is, guys, there's a reason why Putin basically dismisses cabinets. And you better not believe that fucking the UFO thing, man. It's China. It is South Africa. It is Brazil. It is Russia. And it's also their buddy Germany now. And probably be the UK. I think the UK is going to turn at the end too, because America is just too unstable. What happens if an American president decides to, I don't know, bump off, you know, some European director of military operations? What do we do then? And I think,
well, one of the things that I want to make perfectly clear is that the Europeans are together.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're together.
Yeah,
they're together about what it is that they want to do for their genetic survival, just like Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing brought to our attention. It is for their genetic survival. And we don't seem to understand that. It doesn't matter what they put in our face, because they are together.
It's almost as if they did set up America for a fall, like a big enchilada. You know, they zap all the resource out of this place, put the people in a state of confusion, and then just let it be vaporized. And then guess what? You know, you can still take the survivors and turn them into miners, bring in robots and get that war out. You know,
the American experiment is real.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the words? The the American experiment is real.
Yeah.
Is real.
Mm-hmm.
Is it real or is it Israel running it? Huh? Okay, so not to be ignorant, but we're gonna have to conclude the show right now. I just want
That'd be wonderful.
Just thank you.
I thank you so much for having me on. We have to do this again.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're going to talk about mental health.
Can you give that website though? I want you to give that, or can you type the website in the room so I can pull it off? Because I want to make sure I put your website on the description on this, because you're giving everybody stuff to think about, and we need these research options. We need to be able to basically find out what we're talking about up here, because I think it was very important to have Sister Sandra on tonight, because I think she has a whole lot of information to share that we all can, basically benefit from. How come it's not coming up?
I'm putting it in.
Oh, I thought, okay. I saw somebody's message was redacted or retracted. I don't understand why.
Oh, somebody did.
What's up, Art? Welcome to the show. Yeah, like Brother Bay says, it at the end of the day, the strategy should be a way for self-repair. And I sincerely believe that offering economic stability to otherwise dispossessed, disfranchised, and purposefully made to be ignorant people will be the way to go if you're a decent person. But I'm telling you, there's just not that many decent people out here in the world. It's almost like
there are many decent people out here in the world. They're just far and few between. There are many people who know the knowledge and information about us as being who we are on this planet. Our brain is a powerful thing.
Oh, yes.
And we're not even teaching our children about how important it is.
No. But once again, we have to teach
it's
them
so
by
many
example.
things, that we really have to think about, because that's the first step in anything. Is first you have to start thinking about it. So that's why I'm very thankful to you, Pat, for having me to talk. I know we covered a whole lot of different things.
Yes.
And I can tie into, because I was in Africa for 30 days. And so I don't see a difference. I see the same. I see the white women going over there to get those men, because why? They gonna smile at them while they having sex.
Well, you should.
They gonna make them feel good. Over here, the white women try to get the old white women try to approach these young brothers. They gonna say, "Oh, I know you lost your mind." You see?
I see what you're saying.
So, which one would you rather have? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I looked at everything very deeply, because I understand we're under psychological war, and we have got to get our brothers and sisters to understand that.
I think they are. Yeah. I truly think they're understanding it. I think that slowly but surely, the truth is coming out in sections and spurts, like a geyser, just every once in a while. But the reality is that once the event happens, or maybe it's a series of events, first the economic collapse, or actually probably a military strike, economic collapse, and then maybe some sort of UFO invasion. But all of that should be on the back burner. What we need to deal with are the assholes, haters that's right in front of our face that will harm us on our way to work, on our way to temple, on our way to church, on our way to synagogue, on our way to wherever we may be going. We got to deal with these individuals or groups now, because if not, they are going to deal with us. And the way they got to plan to deal with us, the same way they dealt with the small hats of old, the small hats in Germany got the real deal. If you don't want that plan, you have better come up with a strategy or a tactic or some ideal to keep you, because before too long, especially let the electricity and shit go away. Shit, you pull out that little video, your little camera, and try to film somebody. I could be like, man, you're still dead, because ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming to help you. So you better be able to help yourself. I'm just saying that because I'm so happy that Sister Sandra has ways out of the country. You know, something happens. There's also brothers and sisters in the chat room. I know they have access to being able to get out of the country. And all I ask is that you guys take this information, which I already know you will, that you may have learned from this show, and to share it with those out there, you know, so that we will not be forgotten. So we will not be forgotten.
Right. That's right. So we will not be forgotten.
Because the way it's going, yeah, a lot of you got a date with a FEMA camp. I'm sorry, but you just do. You refuse to hear the warning. But don't worry, I'll be right there with you. Doubt it. But, you know, I'll be right there with you in spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact, man, I know. I've read the white papers, and I actually went out and talked to people to get a feel of the pulse of the situation. And yeah, it wouldn't be hard for a so-called decent citizen to pull a trigger on one of our young people and go sleep, not even, you know, like they did anything bad. You have better recognize your character. Your very character has been bastardized, has been assassinated in a very propagandistic way, in a very sophisticated, purposeful way. And the only reason why you do something like this isn't because you plan to have s'mores and milk with this motherfucker. It's because you plan to kill this son of a bitch at the elected point in time. So keep playing your games. Keep thinking this is a joke. But on that note, this will conclude TPIM SR Live. I want to say thank you to Sister Sandra. Thank you to the listeners and viewers. As always, live your life with integrity, without hate, envy, or greed. As always, brothers and sisters, please, 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 let's try to be kinder to each other. Peace in our power, unity in our victory, dignity in our respect. Liberation. I'm out.